Go. So since this is mindful movement and moments for breast cancer thrivers, that's you all. Whoop, whoop. Um, we are going to be moving mindfully, and I'll explain what that means in just a moment. You don't need a yoga mat, but if you have one and you'd like to use it, I do have one set up behind me, and I'll be on that a little bit. But there's going to be options throughout the class to choose your own adventure, basically. Like you can stand or you can sit, and a lot of the movements are accessible from different positions. So you can even have a chair, whatever's comfortable for you. But let's go ahead and I'm going to give the option to start by sitting or standing. It's going to be a brief meditation. I'm going to be sitting, and I'm going to go back towards my mat just so that I'm a little bit further back. And you can see me pretty well. And so your option is if you want to stay sitting in a chair, your feet would be flat on the floor, your spine nice and straight. You don't have to be sitting cross-legged. Cross-legged's fine if that's comfortable, or like I said, standing is good too. And we'll be starting with a just brief meditation. It's more of a mindful moment to connect to ourselves. And then we'll be moving into some of the more movement-based parts of class. All right, let's go ahead and feel your feet flat on the floor and just notice how your physical body feels today. And so without any sort of judgment, just noticing what comes up, and that's really mindfulness, is the awareness, noticing how we feel, but then just being okay with it. And then start to kind of tune more inward. So you'll hear things going on around you, and that's normal. But if you close down your eyes or just find a soft gaze, you'll begin to start to come into your body. And usually we get more out of our mind space, and as we move inward to the body and start to feel our breath. Notice as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, just sigh it out a few times. And I'm going to invite you on a new adventure today. So we're going to be navigating our inner landscapes, this terrain that we have inside of our bodies that sometimes is just all happening. Like our body works and it's doing big work for us all day long, but oftentimes we're not really paying attention to what's going on internally. But we're going to start to tune in to all of those bumps, and maybe there's like some waves, or there's some rapids, or there's, these mountains that you might be climbing inside after your diagnosis. And that's all really normal. And just kind of feeling into those, noticing your breath as it kind of moves in and out of all of that rugged terrain. Feeling deep breaths in through your nose, and then try to breathe back out through your nose as well. Lengthening the breath on each inhale and each exhale. Trying to make the breath so it's more equal in length between your inhales and exhales. You may even decide to count to 3 as you inhale, and then 3 as you exhale. And do that a few times, just feeling the rise and fall, and allowing your breath to keep you inside your body. And then you may even allow the breath to rise for the count of 4 and back out for 4. Nice, smooth breath. And it starts to balance the nervous system. So you may even notice that your heartbeat is slowing down just a little bit. You're starting to be more present in your body. And you may start to notice that the thoughts aren't as busy in your mind. It's like they're floating on by, going down the river, rather than being kind of stuck in an eddy, circling around. For those of you who have maybe been on a river program and kayaked, or may have noticed those eddies where we circulate, and that can be our thoughts sometimes, but we're just going to let them float on by down the river. And then when we let go of the thoughts, we start to get a little bit closer towards our heart center. And I invite you just to place one hand on your heart and maybe the other on top of that hand. And just notice how this feels for you. And maybe a very tender place. You may likely have had surgeries to this area. Perhaps there's been treatments and there's been some sort of trauma to this space that is okay to recognize that it might feel a little different. And that's where, when we tune into this space, just allow ourselves to feel a sense of home within, maybe visualizing your favorite place that you like to go in nature and finding that safe place as you breathe in and out, allowing this space to feel a little more comfortable. It's also okay if emotions come up. Sometimes when we slow down and we tune in, then things can feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then we just come back to that heart center, back to the space, visualizing something that feels safe and secure. And big breaths in and out. And we'll continue this inner journey of this landscape as we start to move as well. So you can start to blink open your eyes and create an intention for this time that we're together. Sometimes it's nice to just say something simple as like be present or feel peace. Um, Maybe it's get out of your head and into your body, and you'll just keep coming back to that. I like be compassionate because sometimes we want to be nice to ourselves as we start to explore different range of motion. We'll be moving into some movement. And so this, you can stay seated in a chair or you can stand up. I'm actually going to stand, and you can start to shake out the arms. And what I'd love for you to feel is, as you're moving, your arms are like extensions of your heart. So if you open up and then you think, oh, that feels a little bit tight right now, that's okay. You just want to go to where that edge is and find some organic movements and allow the arms to sort of move around, almost like an octopus in the water, or like sea kelp, where you're like moving and there's this organic flow. You might invite in your legs if you're standing. Some of you might decide that you want to kind of jump up and down and get some of the energy flowing, but trying to just be real organic and realizing that as you open the arms, it might feel like wings and you're extending through the fingertips and stretching really wide, noticing where your range of motion is. So depending on your journey with breast cancer, you may be in recovery stages in the first month or so after surgery, where your range of motion is a little bit shorter. And then some of you may be years out and you're opening up and the arms are floating wide. So just noticing and moving with it. And then when you find your edge, wherever that is, you'll hold maybe there for a minute and take some deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And the breath is what helps you to open up a little bit more. It helps you to kind of move, and it's organic. All right, and then we'll go ahead and expand, open up as far as you can, and that might be here, it might be laid out wide. And then we're going to take an exhale, and just one arm's going to go under and give yourself a big hug. So kind of squeezing, and inhale, the elbows lift up and sort of puff out the back. So see how my thoracic spine is like rounding. And then we're going to come back and do that again. So round And then you kind of straighten the back and do that. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then we'll open up again, big stretch, inhale. And then exhale, opposite arm goes under and give yourself a hug this time. Thinking of something that you're really grateful for about your body in particular and how it is serving you throughout your cancer journey and just in life. And then again, pulsing, rounding the back, and then sliding shoulder blades back. So rounding. And so the thoracic spine is the back door to the heart. And so we're just sort of massaging that right now. Good. And then we're going to open up the arms again. And then we'll take the right hand down, and then this left arm is going to sweep the horizon. And then we're just going to kind of peek underneath it, and the shoulder blade swims back. Good. And then we'll bring the arm back down and then up, skim the horizon, circle up and over. And so you're getting some good range of motion here. And it might not look completely like this, like you might come across and it might come to here. And then you might notice, that's a little tight right there, and that's normal. So I'm just going to breathe, like inhale and exhale, and just having that compassion for your body of meeting yourself where you're at, knowing that you will gradually with your breath be able to expand range of motion. Good. And then we'll take that arm, keep it up, and we're going to take it to the head and just tilt the ear down towards your left shoulder. So gently kind of moving the head, massaging the neck. And right here, coming into the lymph nodes. So if you have any sort of lymphedema, you're trying to kind of get it flowing here. So you can massage around the neck, underneath to the jaw line, especially really releasing your jaw, and then back down, and then down under the armpit, the left armpit. A little bit of a massage. Good. And then we'll come back up and we'll switch. So we're going to take that left hand down and then swim the right arm up, gazing underneath and back down. Okay, good. And just kind of your gaze follows your hand. And then bringing it up to right wherever feels good. Holding it there, breathing. Slowly starting to take your head and tilting it towards that right shoulder. And once again, kind of nodding the head forward and back. And also massaging through the lymph nodes in the neck, underneath into the jaw, and then down under the armpit. Okay, good. And then we'll go ahead and shake the arms out. And we're going to continue to do a few more just arm movements here. So the arms are going to come forward. You're going to reach forward through the fingertips, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to just shrug the shoulder blades back. So notice it's just a little movement. Shoulder blades are sliding back. And then I'm going to bring my elbows back too. So you want to make sure as you're inhaling forward, reaching, but then sliding shoulder blades back, engaging more of your lats, and then elbows come back. Good. So inhaling, reach, exhale, hug, exhale, hug back a little further. Good. Do that again. It's sort of like a pizza box. You're reaching for the pizza box your friend's giving you, and then you're like, I want the pizza, and I'm going to take that box. Thank you. So one more time, inhale, reaching, and exhale, sliding back. Okay. And then this time, as you shrug back, we're going to hug the elbows in, and then we're going to just bring the arms up and then out like a cactus. So it's more like goalpost arms now. So you're squeezing shoulder blades together again. Really root down through your feet. Maybe you're standing, maybe you're sitting. You're sort of choosing your own adventure of what feels good here. You're going to inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, elbows drag down, and I'm kind of squeezing back here to open up the heart space. So you should feel a stretch in the front of your body with activation in the back. Good. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhale, cactus the arms. Good. Inhale and exhale. We'll do one more of those. And this time, hold here. We're going to take the arms up overhead. So inhale, reaching up, and I'm just going to take my fingers are like I'm screwing light bulbs here, but I'm reaching up. So it's shoulder flexion and up above the head, and I'm screwing light bulbs. So I'm kind of plugging those shoulder blades back down as well, and just little movements. Inhaling and exhaling as you rotate. We're just trying to get, like, motion is lotion. So a little bit of motion into all of these nooks and crannies that might feel tight. And again, if it's hard to get the arms up right above the head, things are tight here. You might have bent arms. It might be right down in front of you, but you should be feeling it in the shoulders and the pecs, even a little bit in the back, okay? Good. And now we'll go ahead, shake the arms out. You just notice what's going on for you here. Notice what's happening in this area of your body. So things should be feeling like there's energy flowing. We call that like chi or prana in yoga. It's that internal landscape. Everything's moving through it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to come into mountain pose. So that's just feet are going to be about hip width distance apart. And I like to rock forward and back a few times and start to find my footing. Feel the outer edges of the feet. So mindfulness is just being aware of like how your body is feeling, all the different parts of it, getting present with it so that you're out of your head thinking about other things. You're in the body. And then we'll go ahead and start to kind of stack each joint one at a time. So you take your knees and go right over your ankles, and hips right over your knees, coming on up to shoulders right over the hips, and then head right over the shoulders. And just notice the length that you get when you come into this pose. And you're imagining that you are like a mountain, maybe one that you've seen on a first ascents trip, where you're standing in your own power and you're standing tall. Shoulders are back, heart is open, and said that an open heart is an open mind. So we're just allowing ourselves to stand in our own strength right now. And let's do a sun salutation together. So we're going to root through the feet and inhale, sweep the arms wide and up, palms touch, gaze up and smile. And then exhale, hands come down to your heart center. Good. Now another deep breath in, reaching wide and tall. And then as you exhale, you're going to come into a forward fold and see how it feels. You might just go halfway. You just want to let your arms dangle here. Head and neck dangle, arms dangle, and allow yourself to feel like a sense of surrender. So all that activation in the arms before now is just in this like kind of loose letting go phase. You might bend the knees. And then we're going to slowly plant down into the feet and lift the head back up. Arms are going to sweep overhead. Palms touch. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And just notice for you where your range of motion was. Okay, good. We are going to come into kind of like a chair pose. And I'm facing this way so that you can kind of see feet are going to stay hip width distance apart. And I'm going to sit back and I'm reaching forward as I sit back. Okay, and so you're kind of squeezing inner thighs together, reaching forward, sitting back. And so again, you kind of have more of this shoulder flexion coming forward. And then we're going to bring the arms behind like a ski racer almost, and kind of activate the back. Inhale, reaching forward. And then exhale, arms float back. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale forward. and exhale back. Big breath in and big breath out. We're going to combine this, the same kind of movement, and we're going to make a breath of joy. So, breath of joy is something that gets your energy up. And some of you had mentioned that you were tired. So, we're going to try to bring a little bit of energy into our day. And we're going to be combining some of the motions that we were doing with the arms going out with these going back and forth. Okay. So you can watch me for this first one and then you can do it with me. But we're going to inhale, the arms go out, inhale, the arms go up, inhale out, inhale up, and then back. Okay, and we'll do it a little bit faster and you'll go at your own pace. So we'll do a few together and then you'll kind of go at your own pace for a few and then you'll see how you feel. So inhale, arms up, inhale out, inhale up, and inhale up, inhale out, inhale up, and now see if you can pick up the pace. And again, you're using your arms to only the extent of your range of motion. So your mindful movement is just deciding where you can go to and using your arms like wings to extend from your heart and noticing how that feels for you. And then try a few more, just a little faster. Notice how the energy is moving through your body. Last one. And then come back into that mountain pose, stacking yourself joint by joint, and notice how you're feeling right now. Notice if anything has shifted for you. You're most likely breathing a little bit heavier. Your heartbeat is maybe racing at the moment. Just slow down the breath. And notice if you feel maybe a little bit more uplifted. Maybe there's a little bit more range of motion that you were starting to feel because your body was feeling more warmed up. Good. We're going to go ahead and shift to hands and knees if that's comfortable for you, but this can also be done standing. So if you're at a point in your breast cancer journey where you're not putting weight on, that would be like only if you're under 6 months out of like a surgery or treatment. But otherwise, you could probably do some gentle weight bearing on tabletop position. So I am just on hands and knees, and I'm going to take a few cat cows. And this is really good for all the movements of the spine. So we're going to drop the belly and the gaze comes forward as you inhale. And then exhale, you're going to press down into the mat and round the spine. And do that a few times. Inhaling, gaze comes forward, belly drops, tailbone lifts. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck your chin to chest. You can do this a few more times, organically moving. And sometimes it feels good also to kind of move in a circle. So moving your neck and your hips in both directions. Good. And then we'll come back to a regular tabletop and we're going to do these swimmers now. So the right arm is going to come forward and then you take an inhale and then exhale, fingertips trace back. Inhale, keep the gaze on the arm and fingertips come back forward. And again, bring it back on the exhale. Inhale, open up your wing. Good. And continue just like that. So exhale and inhale, reaching up. And again, you might just go to here, or you might be going for your full range of motion. And this can be done standing as well. So you're just kind of taking your arm back. Gaze stays on the fingers though. And that helps to protect the neck. Good. And we'll come back to just our regular tabletop and we'll do the other side. So bringing your left fingers forward, taking an inhale, exhale, fingers trace back, inhale, arms reach all the way up, gaze on the fingertips, and then back around. Exhaling back, inhaling up. And just staying with it. And then back around. We'll take just a few cat-cows here. Again, cat-cows can be done standing too, just like this. Okay. And we're gonna move towards our hips just so that we have a little bit, we're balancing out. So I'm just gonna take up this right knee behind and sort of create a few hip circles. The heel comes up, knee comes out, knee comes down and back up. Inhaling out, exhaling down, and then switching directions. And so we can store a lot of emotions in our hips as well as our shoulders. So we're doing all this shoulder opening. We want to also try to open up these hips. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So right knee comes down. And these can be done standing as well. I should show that. You can root down and kind of touch the wall. So, and circle around if you'd rather be standing for these. Alrighty. And switch directions if you haven't already. And we'll have an option to take a puppy pose or a child's pose, and I'll show you how to do this against the wall as well. So we'll walk the fingertips forward, take an inhale, and then exhale, drop the head down between the shoulders. And this likely will feel pretty tight. It feels tight for me. And so you're gonna be feeling this all down your shoulders, into your chest, into your thoracic spine, taking some deep breaths in and out. And you can also be doing this over at a wall where your hands about shoulder width distance apart. You walk them up a little bit and then just bring your head down, hinging at the hips. And just go to where you're comfortable. I should say maybe a little past where you're comfortable, but there should not be any pain, just a little bit of tension that you're slowly breathing into. You can even take a few open mouth exhales, letting go. Good. We're going to be slowly starting to make our way down onto our backs, or some of you may decide to do our final resting pose in a seated position. But if you want to join me on the backs, we're going to go ahead and do a pose down here real quick. And can also do this standing, which I'll show you in a minute. We're going to kind of do these snow angels where the arms come out and you're tracing the ground and then overhead. So your full range of motion, inhaling the arms out like wings and on up. And again, you may go just to about a T. And you can do the same where your legs can kind of move it out as well. So you kind of pretend you're doing snow angels in the freshly fallen snow. Good. Inhaling up and exhaling back down. And then we'll start to come into your final. I always like to take what I call a Shavasana in yoga, which is just a way to kind of rest and digest what you've been doing with your body. So I'll be leading you through a body scan. And you can do this sitting up as well. So you decide, lay down and relax or sit in a chair. But really the point of taking some time after you do movement to either meditate, which is a mindful moment, or to just rest your body, is to allow everything to kind of decompress. And it's like a safe place for your body to feel. it's like where the healing will start to kind of really take place when you let yourself go into more of a parasympathetic part of your nervous system. So a body scan can take you there, or like a seated meditation can too. So go ahead and just close down your eyes if that's comfortable, or find a soft gaze. Start to feel your body just grounded, letting go of all the thoughts in the mind and just allowing yourself to be here now. Feeling the breath slowly moving in and out. There's no need to control it right now. Just notice the ebb and flow. Feeling it circle around your inner landscape. Noticing how it felt to be on this adventure of more of that inner terrain of your body. And starting down with your toes, relaxing each one from your big toe to the pinky toe. Feeling your heels on the ground, relaxing your ankles, relax your calves, on up through your knees. Feeling the backs of your legs and the fronts of your legs, letting go. And the hips are grounded. Nice long spine, feeling supported by a chair or the ground. Feeling the shoulders softening, relaxing your neck. Feeling the ebb and flow of your breath that rises and falls in your chest. Feeling your arms, releasing any tension from your shoulders, down your arms, through your elbows. Letting go of tension in your wrists. And each finger one by one, pinkies to thumbs. And coming back towards your head, feeling it cradled and supported. The softening of your face, your eyes, down through your jaw. Once again, finding in that inner landscape that space that feels like home. Likely close to your heart center, and allowing yourself to imagine that place. What do you see? What do you hear? Smells come to mind. Reminding yourself of your intention as well that you can take with you, and it can be a different one to take back into the rest of your day. And slowly start to make movements of your wrists and fingers, and toes and ankles. Big stretch, arms overhead. Allowing yourself to simply relax and slowly wake back up. Holding space for the relaxation as well as the rejuvenation that you should feel. Blinking open your eyes when you feel ready, slowly starting to come back into the room. And then checking in with yourself, how you feel now. noticing what shifted. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice of mindful movement and moments for breast cancer thrivers.